It's officially May, so that means two things. One, I get another year older, but more importantly, today I'm going to discuss how much passive income I made in April 2025. In this video, I'll break down exactly how many companies paid me, how much they paid me, and what my plans are for next month. But before we dive into that, I would like to hear from you. How much dividend income did you make in April, and did you beat your numbers in March? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button, as I would really appreciate it. Now, first up for the month of April is none other than Ahold Delhaize, ticker symbol AD. Now, anyone that listens to our podcast will know that Ahold is one of our favorite positions. Now, in April, they paid me a total of €134 in dividends, and this is from a total of 200 shares. My yield on cost stands at 4.26%, and you can see I have a nice gain in capital appreciation as I bought the shares at €27.49, and they currently trade at around €36. Now, the second company on my list is none other than US giant Altria, ticker symbol MO. Now, this company paid me a total of $108.25 in dividend income. That equates to roughly €95.58. I currently own 107.3 shares of Altria and a yield on cost of 8.28%. One of the good things about owning US companies on Interactive Brokers is that we can turn on the drip feature. And as you can see, I take advantage of this, and I have bought 1.7 shares of Altria from my recent dividend income. Now, that brings my total income so far to date as €229.56. That's just from two companies, and remember, we've had 11 companies pay me this month. So let's get on to number 3. Now, next up is Vici Properties, ticker symbol VICI. Now, I have Vici Properties spread across two investment accounts, but in total they paid me $92.74. That translates to roughly €84.13. I currently own 220.7 shares of this company, and I do have that drip feature turned on in Interactive Brokers. In terms of share price, I have an average cost per share of around $30.65, which gives me a yield on cost of 5.65%. So that brings my total dividend income for the month up to €313.69. Now, the next three dividend companies are my mainstay in my portfolio, as these companies pay dividends each and every month. And those companies are Agree Realty, Main Street Capital, and Realty Income. In total, the three companies paid me roughly €45.71 in dividend income. I currently own 123.3 shares of Agree Realty with an average share price of $60.85. That gives me a yield on cost of 5.05%. For Realty Income, I currently have 52.7 shares with an average share price of $51.90. That gives me a yield on cost for Realty Income of 6.22%. And finally, Main Street Capital is a pretty small position in my portfolio. I only have 31.3 shares with an average share price of $41.94. That gives me a whopping yield on cost of 7.15% for Main Street Capital. And to finish off the dividend income this month, I also received dividends from 5 different companies. Now, 2 of these companies are actually closed-end funds, and they are ticker symbols GLO and CHY. And actually, I bought these after reading the Income Factory book, and I had a small part of my portfolio set aside for that particular strategy, but I'm unable to buy these companies anymore because they don't have a KIID document. So I just hold these. They pay me dividends each and every month, but I can't buy those companies anymore. So they're just sitting there in my portfolio. The other 3 companies then are the JP Morgan Growth and Income Investment Trust, ticker symbol JGGI. Now, I started buying investment trusts as an alternative strategy to the closed-end funds, and JP Morgan was probably one of my first or second purchases on that list. My yield on cost currently sits at 4.12%, and I have 310 shares in total. The second last company on the list is actually one of my favorite companies, and that is EOG Resources. And I don't hear a lot of investors talking about this type of company, but it does give you an alternative option into the oil industry if that's what you want. I currently only own 16.2 shares, and it is a position that I'm building out really slowly. But watch out for this company because they do love to pay a special dividend. Last but not least, I received a total of $27.23 from Global Medical REIT, ticker symbol GMRE. That translates to roughly €24.86. Now again, this company was bought way back in 2023 as part of this high yield strategy in my portfolio. And that brings my total dividend income for the month up to €429.61. At the start of 2025, my goal was to hit €7,000 in projected annual dividend income. And after April, I'm well on my way after receiving over €1,500 already in dividends and plenty more dividends lined up. But I mean, look at this chart. You can see the growth has been quite slow and steady. However, look at May, June, and July, as this is where I will receive a lot of my dividends due to all these European companies paying out their annual dividends during these months. So stay tuned for those updates in the coming months. So thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of content and want to follow along my journey towards financial freedom, then please make sure to subscribe below. And don't forget, you can always grab your 3 free deep dive examples of our newsletter in the link below. Catch you all next month, and until then, happy investing.